Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim Nakrin. Okay, I just want to show you a live look here because we are awaiting a press conference that is expected to begin really at any moment now. And we're expecting to hear from local agencies warning of the dangers surrounding hot cars. It is National Vehicle Heatstroke Prevention Day. As things heat up, state and local agencies are very concerned about the potential hazards here, particularly leaving children, leaving pets in unattended hot cars. And it may not even be that warm to begin with, but being in the car, the temperature escalates. Atlanta News First Asia Wilson is at the DeKalb County Fire Rescue Administration, where we are expecting state leaders to talk about this issue at any moment now. But in the meantime, let's listen to her report.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Many state agencies and local leaders want to sound the alarm to increase awareness. They also hope that events like today will prevent another loss of a child after being left in a car, especially as we approach Georgia's hottest days very soon. Now, the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning is making a big push to all families and caregivers across the state with a campaign called Look Again. They say nationally, 29 children died from pediatric vehicular heat stroke in 2023. This includes a 14-month-old girl from Newton County who was left in a car by her mother. Her mother was later charged with second-degree murder. And in the last 2 years, NoHeatstroke.org says 62 children have died from heat stroke in cars across the country. This includes 5 cases here in Georgia. Leaders say these deaths can be prevented if we all look before leaving our cars. Experts want you to know these things before it's too late.
25% of hot car deaths happen when a child gets into a vehicle on their own and is then unable to get out. And of that 25%, 68% are little boys. And this is not surprising because little boys are geared towards liking vehicles.
Experts and state leaders will be discussing how to prevent these deaths at this press conference here at the DeKalb County Fire Safety Administration building. They will also use a car to demonstrate those dangers. All of this will take place at 11. In DeKalb County, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
All right, and thanks to Asia for that report. I just want to show you a live look here, and you can see folks are just getting ready for that press conference that Asia's been talking about. We're expecting that to get underway at any moment now. It looks like, one of the photojournalists is just setting up a microphone and so forth. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to begin, I want to bring you some of the other top stories that we are following as well. So let's get to this. This is really a heartbreaking case out of Paulding County where authorities say an 11-year-old boy has been killed and was actually gunned down inside of his own home. So tragic. Well, authorities are searching for his killers, and here's the thing that's really shocking. They are believed to be as young as the victim here. Atlanta News First Don Shipman is with the First Alert breaking news tracker outside the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Here he is with more on this story.
Good morning to both of you. The GBI is now lead on this investigation. They're trying to figure out exactly what happened. The parents say that they were just sitting down for dinner when all of a sudden gunfire rang out. Take a look at their home in Paulding County. This is along Ruth Way. You can see some of the damage. Here's what we're learning from authorities. The sheriff's office says that deputies found 11-year-old Xander Watley suffering from a gunshot wound when they responded to that home Monday night. Deputies attempted emergency treatment, but Xander died in his bedroom. His parents say that their son had gotten into a dispute with other boys around his age at school. They believe those boys showed up at their home that night and started shooting from outside.
All right, let's go in live to this press conference now underway, and this is warning of the dangers of hot cars. Let's go ahead and listen live.
Child is lost because they are left inside of a parked vehicle any time of the year. One of the things that we're going to do today is to show everyone just exactly how quickly a vehicle can get dangerously hot. Thanks to our friends at our host Safe Cab and DeKalb County Fire Department, we have a thermometer placed inside this vehicle. You can see the air temperature, and you can see the temperature inside the vehicle is already over 100 degrees, and we're in the morning. As our speakers will bring us more information today, you will be able to see just exactly that temperature rise over the course of this news conference. Our first speaker today is the Director of the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, Mr. Alan Poole.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank the DeKalb County Fire Department and Safe Kids DeKalb County for hosting our statewide Vehicle Heatstroke Prevention Kickoff Day. I also want to thank the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, for joining us to remind everyone to never leave anyone, especially a child, inside a parked vehicle. As it is every year, NHTSA designate May 1st as the National Vehicle Heatstroke Awareness Day. Under the bipartisan infrastructure law that was passed in 2021, the Governor's Office of Highway Safety is able to provide a federal highway safety grant to DeKalb, the Department of Early Childhood and Learning, to assist in their outreach, Look Again, Vehicle Heatstroke Education and Prevention campaign. I also want to thank my good friend, Commissioner Amy Jacobs, and her staff for the valuable training that they provide for child care providers in our state. Our mission at the Governor's Office of Highway Safety is to educate the motoring highway public and to assist in creating programs like this designated to eliminate traffic deaths on our roads. The mission also includes reducing the number of children killed from being left inside a parked vehicle, and that number is 0. Children are at high risk of dying from heat strokes in hot vehicles because their body temperature rises 3 to 5 times faster than any adult. Virtually all of these deaths are accidental because they are caused by someone forgetting that child in a vehicle or by a child climbing into a vehicle that's being parked and they become trapped. Approximately half of the total children heat stroke deaths that have occurred in the United States happen when a child is being transported to a child care or preschool event. That's why it's important for adults who transport small children to always look in the back of that vehicle before they lock and leave it. It is also important for adults to make sure their vehicles are locked when parked where small children live or play. Small children are curious young people, and they may try to climb inside of a vehicle and get trapped. If persons see a child or anyone that appears to show signs or symptoms of heat stroke in vehicles, the Georgia law prevents that person to break into that vehicle and rescue that person outside of that vehicle. We all know how hot it is here in Georgia, and the summers change at the drop of a hat. Unfortunately, vehicle heat stroke deaths can happen at any time. That's why we're here today, to make sure we bring this awareness to the public, and we can eliminate all of heat stroke deaths that occur in this state of Georgia and the United States. Thank you so much again for being here, and I'll turn it back over to Robert.
Thank you, Director. We are privileged this morning to be joined by Commissioner Amy Jacobs with the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning. The Department of Early Care and Learning has been very proactive in working with child care and daycare centers to do what they can to prevent vehicle heat stroke deaths from happening in our state. Commissioner Jacobs.
Well, thank you, Robert. It is good to be with you, Director Poole, and NHTSA Deputy Regional Administrator Judy Dancy, and you're welcome back home. We are honored to be partnering this year with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, the National Safety Traffic Administration, and Safe Kids to Cab to spread the message of how to prevent pediatric vehicular heat stroke. DECAL is the Department of State Government responsible for licensing and regulating 4,500 child care and early education programs throughout our state. Hundreds of thousands of children in Georgia are cared for every day by licensed child care providers, most of whom regularly transport children to and from school and on field trips. It's our job to help ensure that these youngest learners are cared for in healthy and safe environments, which includes times they are transported while in child care. These annual Look Again campaigns were begun by my predecessor, Bobby Cagle, after a child died tragically when the child was left unattended in the child care provider's vehicle. This child's death was preventable if only the child care provider had looked again to ensure all the children were accounted for. The message to look again is just as relevant today in 2024 as it was when these campaigns started. Last year, 29 children died from pediatric vehicular heat stroke in the United States, including a 14-month-old girl in Newton County, Georgia, who was left in a vehicle by her mother in October of 2023. During fiscal year 2023, 8 children were left in vehicles by child care providers statewide, and so far in fiscal year 2024, 9 Georgia children have been left in vehicles. Thankfully, these children were discovered in time and none of them were seriously injured. Through the years, DECAL has developed and implemented new licensing rules and regulations pertaining to transporting children, including requiring special training that child care directors and staff involved in transporting children must take every 2 years. Today, when DECAL receives a report that a child in child care was left in a vehicle, a trained licensing consultant goes to the center and investigates the incident. If the incident is substantiated, DECAL issues a citation to the provider and, even more importantly, provides additional training and technical assistance to ensure that this incident doesn't happen again. I'm glad to say that the number of incidents is dropping, but leaving even one child unattended in a vehicle is one child too many. This danger doesn't apply just to child care providers. In fact, it happens more often when children are in the care of their own family and friends. So today's warning goes not only to child care providers, but to communities, neighborhoods, schools, churches, anywhere children are cared for and transported. Many people, child care providers, parents, grandparents, and other relatives, friends think, this will never happen. I would never leave a child unattended in a car or van, but it does happen for a number of reasons. But it doesn't have to happen. So join us in spreading the word that pediatric vehicular heat stroke can be prevented by never leaving a child alone in a vehicle, even for a minute. And when you've turned off your car, you've checked your car or your van, make sure everyone is out. Look again, and then close and lock your doors. Thank you for your help, and have a fun and safe summer.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacobs. Our next speaker is with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. We are very honored to be joined today by the members of the Region 4 office, including Administrator Carmen Hayes and Deputy Regional Administrator Alex Cabral. Our speaker is our Regional Program Manager in the state of Georgia, Ms. Judy Dancy.
Good morning. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I'm Judy Dancy, Regional Program Manager for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in Region 4. We are here today to bring attention to the danger of hot cars, which is one of the leading causes of traffic-related death for children in the United States. Since 1998, when safety advocates first began tracking, 964 children have died in hot cars. Each death was preventable. The U.S. Department of Transportation's National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, is working with Georgia's Governor's Office of Highway Safety, the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning, and the DeKalb County Fire Department to reach out to parents and caregivers with critical information about the dangers of heat stroke. NHTSA, safety advocates, and academic institutions urge parents and caregivers to learn about the deadly consequences of leaving children in hot cars. Sharing this life-saving message with everyone you know. Once you park, stop, look, and lock. Since 1998, the majority, which is 52.6% of hot car tragedies, occur when a child is forgotten by a parent or caregiver and left in a vehicle. And more than half, 58%, occur at a home. A busy parent or caregiver may unintentionally forget that a quiet or sleeping child is in the back of the vehicle. Nearly 1/3 of these accidents occur with children under the age of 1. We have to teach our children that the vehicle is not a playground, that playing in and around the car is dangerous. On average, one child dies from heat stroke nearly every 10 days in the United States from being left in a car or crawling into an unlocked vehicle. What is most tragic is that every single one of these deaths could have been prevented. Gained access circumstances account for about 1/4 of child heat stroke fatalities. Toddlers and young children are also at risk of vehicular heat stroke, and they are more likely to gain access into a vehicle. Some children gain access into a vehicle without the knowledge of an adult and may be unable to exit the car, especially if child locks are activated. The bottom line is this: mothers, fathers, caregivers, anyone is susceptible to forgetfulness. We live in a fast-paced society, and our routines are often upended at a moment's notice. It is during these moments of hurriedness and change in routine that many of these preventable tragedies occur. For this reason, it is more important than ever to, once you park, stop, look, and lock. As we rapidly are approaching the summertime, where the temperature in the South can rise to triple digits, we must be extra vigilant. We urge all parents and caregivers to do these 3 things to help prevent child heat stroke. Make it a habit to look in the back seat every time you exit your car. Never leave a child in a vehicle unattended, and always lock the car and put the keys out of reach. Thank you again. Back to Roger.
Thank you, Judy. We've heard a lot of great information, a lot of great safety tips, but one of the greatest demonstrations we have is right here. In about 10 to 15 minutes, this temperature is risen about 10, almost 10 degrees. It's 30 degrees warmer inside the vehicle than it is on the air temperature. And when we turned this thermometer on at about 10:55, it was at 91 degrees. So in a span of 25 minutes, it's risen 20 degrees. That's how quickly temperatures inside a parked vehicle can get dangerous for children who are more susceptible to heat stroke because their body temperature rises faster. And that's why we're asking people today, it's very simple. The next time you want to pull up and say, hey, I'm just going to run in here for a minute, that minute could cost someone their life. Please don't. Or make sure you're locking your vehicles, especially where children are playing, because small children, they're looking for toys, anything to play with and play on, and it's most important to keep your vehicles locked. We want to thank our media partners for being here today and helping us get this important safety message out to the people of the state of Georgia. We also want to thank Safe Kids DeKalb and DeKalb County Fire for hosting our event. This concludes it, and if there's anybody who needs any other interviews with any of our speakers, please let us know. Thank you. Yeah.
Get a picture of y'all together.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe in the background. That would be great. Maybe right over here. Just stand
Okay.
right in here. Picture time. Oh, yeah.